everyone, welcome back to Pably. In this video we're going to learn how to add and group Google contacts from Google Forms submission. So I am a manager in an HR team in a business, and we have created a form with the help of Google Forms, with the help of which all the candidates can apply for the different job positions that we are hiring for, and they can submit their details with the help of the form submission. Here what I want is that as soon as a new form submission is going to be done by the candidates with the help of Google Forms, according to the job positions that we are hiring for, we have created different groups in our Google Contacts account. Here what I want is that as soon as the form submission is going to be done by the candidate with the help of Google Forms, according to the job position that the candidate has applied for, I want to create a contact of that candidate in that specific group, the job position that they have applied for. Now doing this manually is really time consuming. So what I did was I simply automated this entire process with the help of Pably Connect, and I've created the automation between Google Forms and Google Contacts with the help of Pably Connect. So if you want to learn about this amazing automation, then let me take you all to my screen. Welcome to my screen. In this video we're going to learn how to add and group Google Contacts from Google Forms submission. As an HR professional, I use Google Forms to collect job applications from candidates. To streamline my communication process, I automatically add the applicants' details to Google Contacts and organize them into groups based on the job position they have applied for by using Pably Connect. This way, I can easily manage and send updates regarding interviews and application status to each group, and having candidates organized by job roles in Google Contacts, I can quickly find and contact them without any manual efforts, saving time and improving efficiency in my hiring process. And we are going to be creating this amazing automation with the help of Pably Connect. So on the screen, you can see the website of Pably Connect, that is pably.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign into our Pably Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign into my Pably Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pably Apps window in front of you, in which you can see the applications of Pably, from which we are going to select Pably Connect by clicking on Access Now. Then Pably Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pably Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right over here that says Create Workflow. A dialog box is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the workflow name and for us to select a folder. So for the name of my workflow, I'm going to give it as Add and Group Google Contacts from Google Forms Submission. So this is the name that I want to give to my workflow. Next, it is asking for us to select a folder. So on the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pably Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, click on this drop down. So these are the folders from which I'm going to select Google Forms Automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving a name to our workflow and selecting the folder, let's click on Create. In order to create a workflow is created in the name of Add and Group Google Contacts from Google Forms Submissions, and there are two windows in front of you. One over here says Trigger, other says Action. Trigger and action are the two most important steps of our automation process, because our process depends on these two concepts. Over here, trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means our action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. We are going to set up our trigger step first. And for the trigger application, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as Google Forms. As my objective is that as soon as a new form submission is going to be done by any of the candidates who want to apply for the jobs that we are hiring for, I want that as soon as a form submission is going to be done by the candidates with the help of Google Forms, automatically and instantly Pably Connect should capture the response of the form submission being done. That is why for the trigger application, I've selected it as Google Forms. And for the trigger event, I'm going to select it as New Response Received. Whenever a form submission is going to be done with the help of Google Forms, automatically Pably Connect should capture the response. That is why for the trigger event, I've selected it as New Response Received. After selecting the trigger application and the event, you can see that Pably Connect has provided us with a webhook URL. With the help of this unique webhook URL, we are going to create a connection between Google Forms and Pably Connect by following the steps given here below in the help desk. So let us copy this URL from here. After copying the URL, I'm going to open the form that I want to connect to Pabbly Connect. So this is the job application form that I've created. And with the help of this form, I'm collecting my candidates' data, okay? I want that as soon as the form submission is going to be done with the help of this form that I've created, I want Pabbly Connect should capture the response of that. In order to do that, we are going to connect this form to Pabbly Connect. For that, what we're going to do is, over here on the panel, it says questions, responses and settings. Go to responses right over here. Under responses, it says link to sheets. Click on this. As we're going to do that, it is asking us to select the destination for responses. Either you can select the existing spreadsheet that you have, or you can create a new spreadsheet to select the destination of the responses being recorded. I'm going to create a new one, so I'm going to click on this create button right over here. As I'm going to do that, you can see right over here, this is the spreadsheet that I've created, and this spreadsheet is directly linked to the form that we have created with the help of Google Forms. Now, whenever a form submission is going to be done by any of my candidates with the help of this form, automatically the response of the form submission is going to be created in this spreadsheet right over here. So for that, what we're going to do is we're going to connect this spreadsheet to Pabbly Connect. In order to do that, from the panel given over here, go to extensions. Under extensions, go to add-ons, and from add-ons, go to get add-ons right over here. As we're going to do that, a window is then going to appear in front of you, and on the search bar right over here, we are going to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks. So please search over here for Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Over here it says Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Select it, open Pabbly Connect Webhooks. As you can see that I've already installed Pabbly Connect Webhooks, so I'm going to move forward. But if you have not installed Pabbly Connect Webhooks, please do install it so that creating a connection between Pabbly Connect and Google Sheets may happen. So as I've already installed, I'm going to go back and refresh this page from here. As I've done that over here, now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to extensions. Under extensions, now you're going to see an option known as Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Click on it. From the given options, go to initial setup button right over here. Then a window is going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the webhook URL and the trigger column. For the webhook URL right over here, I'm going to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us. And for the trigger column, it says the trigger column will be a final data column on which the data is added. So in this spreadsheet, the trigger column is going to be column G, because in this column, the final data is going to be added. So I'm going to select my trigger column as column G, and then I'm going to click on this submit button. As I'm going to do that, it says setup configured successfully. So now I'm going to go back. Now the steps that I'm going to tell you right now are very important, so please do not forget to follow them. Go to extensions again, go to Pabbly Connect Webhooks. From the given options, go to send on event right over here. As over here it is saying working. As the loading is completed, go back to extensions and Pabbly Connect Webhooks. You can see a tick mark is in front of send on event. It is very important for us to click on send on event, so that whenever a record of the form submission is going to be created in this spreadsheet right away, the response is going to be captured. Automatically, this spreadsheet is going to send that data to Pabbly Connect. That is why it is very important to click on send on event. Okay. As now the setup is been successfully, I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down. Over here it is saying waiting for webhook response. So now what we're going to do is we're going to check whether we're going to test Google Forms is connected to Pabbly Connect or not. And how we're going to do that? By doing a test form submission of the form that we have created with the help of Google Forms and checking whether Pabbly Connect captures the response of it or not. So now we're going to do the test form submission. For that, go to the send button, go to the link button, copy the link from here and open it in a new tab right over here. As I've done that, this is the form that I've created with the help of Google Forms. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do the test submission. Firstly, it is asking for the first name of our candidate. So for the first name over here, I'm going to write it as test. Okay. For the last name over here, I'm going to write it as smart5. For the email over here, I'm going to write it as testsmart5@pabblytudes.com. And for the phone number over here, I'm going to write in a dummy mobile number. Okay. It is asking for the job position applied for. I'm going to apply for the sales executive position, let's suppose. And it is asking, why do you want to work with us? I'm going to write over here the response as. So this is the response right over here. Okay. After entering all the required details, I'm going to click on the submit button. As I've done that, it says your response has been recorded. As now the response is recorded, I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet. You can see the record of the form submission has been created in this spreadsheet right over here. You can see right over here. Okay. So as now the response has been successfully recorded right over here, you can see this means that the spreadsheet has captured the response. I'm going to open my workflow and scroll down. Over here, I'm going to wait for a few seconds. As I waited for a few seconds, you can see right over here, Pabbly Connect has also captured the response of the form submission. For why do you want to work with us, you can see the response that we have forwarded. You can see right over here has been captured. If I'm going to scroll down over here, for the first name comes as test, last name as smart5. Over here for the applied position as sales executive, email as testsmart5@pablitudes.com. For the phone number, dummy mobile number with all the other details. So as the response has now been successfully captured, this means that Google Forms is connected to Pabbly Connect and our trigger setup is done. Now, whenever a new form submission is going to be done by any of my candidates with the help of Google Forms, automatically and instantly, Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response of that. As now we have successfully captured the response, my objective is that I have created few groups according to the job positions in my Google Contacts account. Okay, you can see I have 4 job positions that are been open as we are hiring. First is data analysis, second is HR coordinator, third is sales executive, and last is software developer. I want that as soon as the form submission is going to be done with the help of Google Forms, as per the position that the candidate has applied for with the help of the form submission, I want to create that candidate as a contact in my Google Contacts account under the groups that I've created. So these are the 4 groups that I've created. I want to create a contact of the candidate under the selected job position that they have applied for. Now, in order to do that, what we are going to do is we're going to set up our action step. And for the action application over here, I'm going to select it as Router by Pabbly. With the help of Router by Pabbly, we can conditionally run this workflow. And as over here, the condition is to create groups and create contacts according to the form submission. That is why we're going to select our action application as Router by Pabbly. And for the action event, I'm going to select it as conditionally run, as now we're going to conditionally run the workflow according to our requirements. Then I'm going to click on this connect button. As I'm going to do that, the route page is then going to appear in front of you, in which you can add as many routes as you want according to your requirement. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set up our route 1 first. For that, click on the set filter and action steps button. In order to conditionally run the workflow, we need to apply filter to the requirement. Okay. I want this route 1 to be executed whenever the form submission is going to be done with the help of Google Forms by my candidates. And for the job position, they select it as sales executive. I want that whenever the candidate is going to apply for the sales executive position, they should be added in this group right over here under sales executive as a contact in my Google Contacts account. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set up our filter according to this requirement. For the select label over here, I'm going to select the label of the job position that my candidate is applied for, that is the sales executive position. So for the select label, I'm going to select the job position applied for field right over here. Should be equal to the value of sales executive. So I'm going to enter right over here sales executive. So I want that whenever the job position applied for is going to be equal to sales executive, then this route 1 should be executed. So I'm going to set up my filter by click on this button right over here. As I'm going to do that, you can see the status comes as success and the message comes as condition is true. This means the filter has been applied. Now this route 1 is only going to be executed further after this step whenever the job applied position is going to be equal to the sales executive. Okay. So as I've done the filter setup, now what I want is that as soon as over here the filter is going to be success and the condition is going to be true, I want to add this contact first in my Google Contacts account. So firstly, we're going to create a contact. For creating the contact, I'm going to add another action step. And for the action application over here, I'm going to select it as Google Contacts. As now we're going to create a contact first who have done the form submission. So we're going to create a contact. For that, our action event is going to be create contact. Then click on this connect button. A new event is going to appear in front of you, on which click on add new connection, or else you can select the existing connection. After that, click on sign in with Google. As I'm going to do that, a window is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the permission. So I'm going to click on this allow button. As the save process, my data is perfectly saved with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to click on this allow button. As you can see that we successfully authorized Google Contacts to Pabbly Connect. After authorizing, it is asking for the details of the contact that we want to create in our Google Contacts account. For the data of our contact, what we are going to do is we're going to map the data. What is mapping? Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we're going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. And how mapping works is that as soon as I'm going to click on this field right over here, you can see it says Google Forms new response received in the router filter step. I want the first name over here. So the first name of the contact that we want to create has been provided in this step right away. So I'm going to click on it. As I'm going to click on it, this was the same response that was captured in our previous step. As over here, we require the first name of the contact that we are creating. In my previous response, we have received the first name of our contact. You can see right over here. This is the applicant's candidate's name. You can see right over here. I want to create this candidate as a contact in my Google Contacts account. So for the data of the first name, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the data of the first name from my previous response. Okay, as I've selected the data from my previous response, the data is mapped, and as I map the data has now become dynamic. That means whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. I do not require the middle name field right away. I'm going to skip it. For the last name, I'm going to map the data of the last name right over here in this similar manner. I don't require the field, so I'm going to skip the part. It is asking for the gender. As in the form submission, we didn't receive the gender. So I'm going to toggle this map button from the top and remove the gender from here. Okay, I'm going to clear this field right over here. After that, it is asking for the email work. For the email, I'm going to map the data of the email right over here from my previous response. After that, if I'm going to further scroll down for the job title, I'm going to map the data of the job title that I've received, that is sales executive. After that, for the phone number, I'm going to map the data of the phone number that we have received. You can see right over here. Okay. If I'm going to scroll down, it is asking for all the other details. I do not require them, so I'm going to skip the part. You can see right over here. As for the event type, I do not have the required field, so I'm going to skip it and erase the existing data from here. Similarly, toggle all the buttons right over here if you don't require the fields. I don't require them, so I'm going to just simply clear all the fields data from here. Okay, and after that, I'm going to click on the save and send test request button. As I'm going to do that, we have received a response, which is a positive response, as we have received the resource name. You can see right over here. So if I'm going to open my Google Contacts page and go to the Contacts page and refresh this page from here, you can see a new contact in the name of testsmart5 with the email as testsmart5@pablitudes.com with a mobile number, and the job title as sales executive is been successfully added in my Google Contacts account. Now what I want is, as the contact is created, now I want to add this contact to this group right over here, that is sales executive. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add another action step to this workflow according to the requirement. And for the action application, I'm going to select it as Google Contacts. Okay, as I want that as soon as a new contact is going to be created in my Google Contact, I want to add that contact to the specific job position that they have selected while doing the form submission. So for the action event, I'm going to select as add contact to group/label, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. As I have the existing connection, I'm going to select the option, but if you want, you can add a new connection. Then I'm going to click on this save button. Okay, after that, it is asking for the group. So for the group over here, I'm going to select as the sales executive group, as this particular candidate has selected the position as sales executive. Okay, and for the contact over here, I'm going to toggle this map button and erase the existing data from here. And for the contact field, we received the resource name, as you can see right over here. So we're going to map the data of the resource name that we have received in our previous step. Okay, after that, I'm going to simply click on this save and send test request button. As I've done that, we have received a response right over here. So if I'm going to open my label that I've created, sales executive, and refresh this page from here, you can see a contact in the name of testsmart5 has been added to this label, sales executive. You can see right away as the job title has been selected as sales executive. As now the contact has been created in this group, this means that our route 1 setup is done. So I'm going to simply close this route right over here. And I'm going to give a name to this route. So for the name of my route, I'm going to give it as sales executive. Okay, I'm going to update the name. As now the route 1 for the sales executive group is done. Now what I want is that I want to create other routes for the other groups that I've created. You can see right over here. So for the next route, I'm going to take the example of the data analyst. Okay, so now we're going to set up our route 2. Now if I'm going to set it up by clicking on this button right over here, I have to do that from the top, which is very time consuming. So simply I'm going to clone this route that I've already created right over here, and I'm going to rename the route. Okay, so I'm going to give the name again. So this is the name that I want, that is data analyst. Okay, and then I'm going to click on the set filter action steps. As I'm going to do that, you're going to see the filter and the action steps are already been set up. This is because we have cloned the route. Okay, and if I'm going to set up the filter over here, I want now the filter value, the job position applied for, should be equal to data analyst, as this route 2 has been executed for data analyst right over here. So for the value over here, in place of the sales executive, I'm going to enter data analyst. Okay, I want this whenever the job applied for position is going to be equal to data analyst. I want that candidate should be added to this group as a contact in my Google Contacts in the name of data analysis. Okay, I'm going to simply click on this save and send test request button. Over here, the status comes as error and the condition comes as false. So now you might be thinking why it is coming as error and condition as false, because in my previous response, you can see right over here for the job position applied for comes as sales executive, which is not actually equal to data analysis. That is why over here what is happening, the status comes over here as error and the message comes as condition is false. Okay, what is going to happen that whenever the job applied for position is going to be equal to data analysis, that is why the status is going to come as success and the condition is going to come as true. Okay, so now as the setup of the filter is done, in the similar manner, in the same manner only, the contact is going to be created. So I'm not going to make any changes in this step. Okay, and after that what I want is I want to add this contact that I've created in the group data analysis right over here. So simply in place of the sales executive, I'm going to refresh the page from here. I want the group to be data analysis right over here. Okay, so in this group I wanted the contact to be added. So now if I'm going to click on the save and send test request button, what is going to happen, the same contact that I've created is going to be added to this another group. I don't want to clone the same contact in two different groups, so just to save the changes, I'm going to click on the save button right over here and close this route. Now this route 2 for the data analysis has also been implemented in this workflow right over here. Okay, I'm going to delete this route from here. So in the similar manner, as I have 4 different job positions been added to this form submission, you can see right over here, what you can do is you can add routes according to the requirement and make changes or simply clone the route. Okay, what I want is I'm going to leave it by 2 routes right over here. In the similar manner, you have to execute other different routes according to a requirement. Okay, so in this similar manner, this workflow is going to be executed. So now what is going to happen is that whenever a form submission is going to be done with the help of Google Forms, automatically according to the job position selected by my candidate while doing the form submission, when applying for the job with the help of Google Forms, they are going to be added as a contact in my Google Contacts under the different groups that I have created of the job positions. Okay, and for that we have created this amazing automation between Google Forms and Google Contacts with the help of Pabbly Connect. Okay, so now for all of you guys, what I'm going to do is, as I've set up the other route for the data analysis, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another form submission with the help of Google Forms. Okay, for that I'm going to click on the send button, copy this link from here and open it in a new tab right over here. So now I'm going to do the form submission. It is asking for the details. I'm going to fill in the details right over here. So this is the form submission details. Over here for the first name comes as dummy, last name is smart, email as dummysmart@pablitudes.com. For the phone number, dummy mobile number, job position as data analyst, and over here this is the why do you want to work for us reply. Then I'm going to click on this submit button. As I've done that, it says the response has been recorded. Now I'm going to open the label data analysis in my Google Contacts and refresh this page from here. As I've refreshed the page, you can see over here under the category data analysis group, you can see a new contact in the name of dummy smart has been created with the email as dummysmart@pablitudes.com with the dummy mobile number and job title as data analyst. Okay, as the contact has been successfully added to this group in my Google Contacts, this means that we successfully created an automation between Google Forms and Google Contacts with the help of Pabbly Connect. So if you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel. Hit on the like button, comment down below if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video. Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple other applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. If you have any questions, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can check the queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment on if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video.